I, friends, have some good news, okay? For once, I don't generally at you with good news. I have good news, all right? I have an update on somebody who we were talking about on the show recently. You might recognize him. This guy right here is who I'm talking about. The guy in Nashville.
Man, it's just so bad every time you see it.
It never gets less shocking, but the guy in Nashville who had a big, giant chunk of his head missing is back in the news.
He found the rest of his head.
Put it back on. He's perfect. Samuel emailed the show about this and gave me the update from the ground there locally. And here he is. This is the same dude, believe it or not. He got a hat.
Oh, wasn't that Sabrina's idea? Give him a hat?
Yes. Yeah.
You're welcome.
That was a good idea. And he has some things to say, and I think we should listen to this guy. There is a report from News Channel 5 talking about him, his head, why he's like the way he is, and what people treated him like, the way people treated him as all this was going on. Let's tune in.
I'm Nick Barris reporting in Nashville. You couldn't miss him, a man wandering the downtown area with a horrible head injury. A Good Samaritan took action, found him, contacted me, and we took him to get medical care. You're not going to see that head injury in this story, but suffice to say, he's missing most of his forehead.
Yeah.
So you suffered a bad head injury.
Here he is.
Yes, sir.
So does it hurt?
I'm sorry.
No, it does not.
Yeah, this is right in his face. I don't know why we're so
Because
close.
they don't want to show.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
So does it hurt?
No, it does not.
So what's your situation right now? I mean, you understand
Beautiful
people
eyes.
notice you walking around
Yes,
like
I do.
this. What do you want people to know?
It's not that I don't want help. I do want help.
This is 39-year-old Jonathan Johnson, and he
What do you want
spent
people to
the
say?
past
We're
several
gonna
weeks
use a
sleeping on
voiceover.
benches near 2nd and Broadway. People noticed because of the large open wound on his head.
Very few people has tried to help me.
So what kind of help would you need? Tell me what you want. You want to go to the hospital and get help?
Yes, I do.
The Good Samaritan, who wishes to remain anonymous, heard about Johnson. She found him downtown.
Okay, so there's this woman who is in the car with him, this blonde who's driving him around, and she doesn't want to even be known. What? What is going on? Is somebody actually doing something good and not doing it for notoriety or social media fame?
But what did the news station do, though?
They went out
How did they
and
intro
made a story.
it? We're the ones that helped him out, even though
did
we kind
say-
of just found this lady.
Yeah, the reporter did say, I went out there and I got him help. But this lady, apparently, this young blonde, went out and she's driving this guy around. He's in her car, and she actually did the work to help this guy. And he said not many people were offering him any sort of help, which is really kind of a sad thing to think
Called
about.
me, and then we took him to Summit Hospital, where we were met by Councilman Jordan Huffman.
She called the reporter.
Sorry you've been having so much trouble.
It's okay.
They're blurring his head. Checked out.
Johnson says he was hit by a car 7 years ago and a plate was put in his head. He recently had a complication where the plate had to be removed. Then Johnson, without really explaining, says he walked out before it could be replaced. Doctors at Summit, which is not where Johnson had any of the plate surgeries, cleaned the wound and released Johnson. The next step will be to close the wound.
Oh, yeah,
If I got
please.
to go through another surgery to get the metal plate put back and so the skin can go over, I'd be glad to.
My first concern was just with your overall safety.
At the moment, Johnson is stable, and Councilman Huffman has arranged for him to move into a group home for now.
Good.
Johnson tells me he's homeless with no family. He does say he's now glad to be off the streets and is thankful for all those who care and have taken steps to help him.
How crazy is that? I did not expect this outcome. We learned a couple of things. He had a plate in his head because he got hit by a car. There was an accident. Something went wrong with the plate in his head, and they had to take it out. And they cleaned it all up. And before they could put a new plate in, he was wandering around the streets. That's how he got into the situation he was in.
Well, because he wanted to vape in the hospital, and they didn't let him vape.
Yeah, he said at the beginning he had said he left the hospital because they wouldn't let him vape there.
No, he was vaping meth.
Now he's saying that he wants to get help and he wants to get this plate put back in. They found a place for him to stay, at least temporarily, and they're going to get him the medical help that he wishes to get, which is kind of the best possible outcome we could have hoped for here.
I can imagine that exposed wound is not going
good.
to fare well. Like, it should be taken care of as quickly as
That's what they're
possible.
doing. Yeah, I think that's what they're going to be able to do. I hope so. He sure as hell looks a hell of a lot better with a hat on. I'm looking at him here, new version of him, 2.0, and it's going in a good direction. He definitely has some problems, this poor guy, and his family is not there. I don't know. It's probably a longer story and how this guy got to the point in life that he's at and who abandoned him or otherwise, but there he is. I think it's a good update. I think it's a good update that he's getting some help. Somebody finally cared, and this blonde woman pulled up and called the TV folks and got all the balls rolling. We want to hear from you. What do you think? Do you think this guy is going to go down the path where he takes care of himself medically and he starts putting his life back together? Or do you think we're going to see another story of this guy right back out on the streets with the open head thing still going on?